Hello, everybody. Welcome to Kubernetes Cluster API Azure CapZ, our weekly status meeting for office hours. It's April 24th. We do this every week. As I'm sure you're well aware, we're a sub-project of SIG Cluster Lifecycle, and so we abide by their rules of conduct, which we can boil down to everybody make this a welcoming, happy place, and let's try not to talk over each other. Use the raise hand feature in Zoom if you can find where that little button is hidden. And if you want to add your name to the attendees list here, please feel free to do so. And at the beginning, we give some time for anyone who's here for the first time or wants to introduce themselves to do so. So I'll be quiet for just a sec if anyone wants to.
Well, I can introduce myself. So, my name is Muhammad Ali Sarnagawi. I'm working in Red Hat. I do, I'm familiar with the community in CAPI, so I'm part of the release engineer team in CAPI, and I do a lot of contribution in Kappa. So, it's my first time here, and looking forward to start to contribute to CAPZ as well. Hi, everyone.
Excellent. Thanks for coming, Mohammed.
And my name is Marek Weber. I'm from Czech Republic, and I'm a colleague of Mohammed from Red Hat. So we would like to implement RO for CubZ.
Awesome. Thanks for coming, Marek. Yeah, okay, let's move on to open discussion, which just in time is getting filled in. Noaz, you want to talk about the 120 milestone?
Oh yeah, thank you, Matt. Just a shout out over here that we are making good progress on our promised issues with respect to the V1.20 milestone of CapZ, but there are still good number of issues in there which we need some progress. There are a couple of issues which haven't been picked up yet. So if anyone of you is interested in picking up any more issues, please feel free. I know a couple of them are in flight. We have PRs for them. And a couple of them, for example, CapZ fails to apply the issue which we just saw. Yeah, fails to apply a new API version of ASO resource. Issues like that, which do not have a PR assigned to them, are free to be picked up. So just a call out over there. And also, the milestone is due May 25th, as far as I remember. So we have about a month now.
A month to take care of this list, ideally, or to do our best. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's doable. Thanks, Noaz. Thanks for the update.
Maybe.
Yeah. Any questions about the milestone or anybody want to offer progress on their open issues? All right. We don't have anything else on the open discussion, but if anybody has something in mind, just please feel free to interrupt. Otherwise, I guess we can go over to milestone review. And this gets a little inside baseball, so if you don't want to stick around for this, you certainly don't have to.
I mean, I think we have some raised hands.
Oh, yes, sorry. Go ahead. I don't know who was first. Mohammed, go first.
Well, I'm not sure. So we have this Aero HSCP API that been available under Azure, and we plan to I'm working on a proposal to start writing like the new API that we are planning to make the controller for it and CRD as well. I was just wondering, just following the similar like process for using the template under CAPI, and then you guys here propose it and explain it and go the same direction, or there are any special steps, in the proposing a new feature into CAPI?
We're talking about an ARO type template or something like that.
Yeah. So okay. So what we are working on a proposal to include the Aero HSCP API that is published here. Let me share the link with you guys here under this one. I made it to the chat.
I gotta find the chat. There we go.
This one here. So this is like the Azure Aero HSCP API. So what we're looking for is to have like a custom resource and building a controller to be able to consume this API and create an Aero HSCP Aero hosted control plan under CAPZ. So I'm just saying I will follow the same process as CAPI, having the proposal and defining what we will need to do, and then you guys will go review it, or do you guys do follow any other process or?
No, that's basically the same for us. If it's a large feature, then ideally there's a markdown document that's the proposal for the feature, and we talk about that until we have agreement, and then start an implementation. I think that's basically the same process.
Okay. Is there any other thing that I need to take care of or to consider in my mind when I do the proposal? Just taking the data structures of the new API from this open API template and explaining that we will have a controllers and a new feature gate. Anything else? Or this should be enough as like a draft?
Stuff like that. I mean, I think there's some requirements outlined in the example. I think we have an example doc, or you can look at existing ones. It's not even quite as intricate as the CAPI ones. And then I guess something that's probably going to come up right away is like, how is this sounds like a pretty big feature, and how do we and we barely have enough bandwidth to maintain things as it is. So would you guys also be signing up to help support this, and or are there
Yeah,
comprehensive
sure.
E2E tests we can do? And so those kind of questions probably would come up.
Yeah, sure. Of course, yeah. Like once we start to work on it, we'll continue like supporting it and like include all the CI jobs for it, like do all this effort. Yeah, it should be done, but it's like, it's accumulative in the end. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that sounds great at the high level. So I guess I'd start with a markdown proposal document and we can all argue about the details there.
yeah, okay. Yeah,
Pretty
sounds
exciting.
good. Yeah. That's all about. Yeah, thanks.
Cool. Yeah. Oops. Well, that's not, let's figure out where we were. There we go. Nawaz, you still have your hand up.
Yep. Sorry. Two sorries. Well, I added the open discussion items a little late, but before I pivot into that, Mohammed, I would love to get the proposal or the talk which you just said documented in our open discussion item. So the link which you just posted in our chat, is that the one we want to get merged, or was that as a reference?
I think that's the
Yes,
existing template. Yeah.
this is the API template. Yeah.
So it's not part of a PR against CAPZ yet. It's just something like that is what you're proposing to write for CAPZ.
Yeah.
But please feel free to add more context in here. I just posted as a placeholder saying you'd like to get that added. I think it'd be nice to have a little bit more context added in the documentation over there.
Yeah, sure, of course, of course. So the plan is when I suggest I start with the proposal draft. So once I finish it, I will like push the PR for it in the CAPZ repo and come here in the meeting and like give a general overview of it, what we are planning to do, and how things should work. It's just today I'm like introducing the idea and see if there's something I need to consider in mind when I'm doing the work. But yeah, so that's the idea.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, Segueing back into the two open items. Sorry, Matt. I hope I can
Go for
continue
it.
on those two. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Um, the first one over there is more of a call out. We do not really have the contributor on call at the moment, but he's been putting a lot of effort in upgrading CAPI on the CAPZ side. So this was more of a call out on his efforts. And we'll continue to collaborate with the contributor to get this PR merged. Uh,
Yep.
the second one was more of a concern for me. Michael has been trying to really help us out in streamlining the way Azure machine pools get reconciled. Uh, they have been running into some production issues with respect to Azure machine pool. At least that's what he was saying, and it's it's dependent on the TLDR is the way CAPZ controllers depend on on the status of Azure machine pool. So I went out and sort of did a brain dump on probably having dependence on status of Azure machine pool is not a good design idea. But I wanted to bring this up to get an opinion on the contract we have at CAPI for machine pools. Is it also status driven? If you remember top of our head, but if not, it's fine too.
I think it is, but I would need to check again. And that's not,
Okay.
as I think you've suggested elsewhere, that is kind of an anti-pattern, right?
Because if you look at it over here in his proposal, the the PR makes sense. Basically, what Michael is trying to do is that if an Azure machine pool, uh, if one of the VMs of a VMSS on the Azure side gets deleted or is not ready, on the CAPZ side, we are marking the whole VMSS as not ready, and he would like that to be not marked as not ready because Azure sometimes heals itself up. That makes sense on logical side, but then the way we are implementing it, to me, it felt like relying on one field of ready to convey the whole thing being ready or not ready is probably too restrictive. We probably need to have a bit more verbose status field, which can convey the whole status of an Azure machine pool. But just scrubbing through the code, I saw that there is a reliance on status, and it 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 trickles us down into this barrel roll of, oh, which one do we upgrade first? Do we stick with this spec? Do we rely on the results we get from Azure, or do we rely on the status of the thing which we have set on our own spec? Um, uh, but this was just to bring this up in bring this thought up in our discussion so that if someone's interested to take a look again, uh, I bring it up.
Yeah, it's a good point. The only thing at a high level, I know that V1 Beta 2 API in CAPI is trying to provide a place to put more detailed status. So at least in the future, there might be a structured way to deal with this. Sorry, I was trying to, is it full? Because I don't think we've run the test that actually exercises VMSSs on this because it doesn't get run by default.
Oh, thank you for that,
Am I
man.
right about that? So this might also be informative, hopefully, if that finishes. Okay. Anybody else have any comments about using status or? Nawaz PR there. Cool. And then Mohammed, you guys put in a link to the reference. That's great. Anything else in terms of the open discussion we want to talk about? Do we want to do milestone review? Probably not a lot to look at.
Okay.
I mean, we flew over this already. I don't know that we need to go through each one, but and as Nawaz said, you know, if you haven't, if you do have free cycles and want to grab one of these, more than half of them are still not allocated or assigned. That is. Let's check and see if anything new has come in that we haven't prioritized. Doesn't look like it. No new issues. And for pull requests, yeah, hey, Morgan, go ahead.
I just wanted to call out. I know last week when we went over these, I was saying that this week I wanted to come with like a strategy, but I think that we should just kind of go along with what we were saying last week and trying to focus on some of the machine pool-esque PRs and issues, and then also lowering the queue because I feel like we have a built-up queue of like bugs, so we also want to prioritize those as well. So I also wanted to bring that to the open forum to see if anybody had any input or if we were all on the same page and okay with that.
Are there any bugs in particular here that maybe we should put in the milestone, or do you have anything
I
in
don't think
mind?
any in particular that come off the top of my mind. I know last week we triaged a lot and put some in the milestone, so we can start with those. And then as we clear the queue, we can add any if we have time, and otherwise we can push them to the next one.
Sounds good to me.
It's good to meet you.
Bueno.
So do we have any milestone or anything to review here? It seems like we're more or less up to date. But if anybody wants to focus on anything, this would be the time. Otherwise, might be the end of the meeting. Not that that's a bad thing. All right, well, let's call it good then.
Listen.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep.
Welcome, Red Hat folks, and hopefully you'll see everybody next week.
Welcome.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Thank you so much, man.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.